Top 3 questions I get asked on this channel. What does the load board look like? How do I book loads? And when I book those loads, how do I stay so local? These are the relay rates for Thursday, October 19th.
Let's get into those SoCal relay rates.
All right, so let's get into it. As always, I'm gonna put chapters in this. You know, if you're here for, I'm gonna do recommended loads up front, then 53, probably touch on some spot capacity, and then finish up with those 26-foot box trucks. There'll be chapters below, so if you want, skip ahead to your part. Let's get into this here. Let's jump into the load board. Now, I think on a Thursday, if I'm gonna do this ethically, I think on a Thursday, mid-morning, I think these rates might not be as great as what I'm used to seeing. If I'm going to do this ethically, I want to show you, you know, hey, when things are good, when things are bad, just to give you a better picture of this whole thing. But I think that on a Thursday mid-morning, rates may not be that great right now. Let's take a look here. Recommended. They're telling me DSD1, that's here in San Diego, 4 stops ending up in San Bernardino. Trailers provided. Let's see where those 4 stops are. So they got you going to Ontario. I'll bet you this is Vegas. And then ending up in Ontario. So San Diego to Ontario to Vegas, back to Ontario, $1,600, $286 payout. Chattanooga, Tennessee, $1.78. People sometimes ask how come I don't do OTR. It's because local has just historically paid better for me. Here's a 26-foot box truck. Again, this is recommended. This is why both are coming up right here, but 26-foot box truck, $447 a mile, going from San 5, ending in Lakeside with middle stop there, Twin Trails Drive in San Diego, probably both post offices. Typically these 26-foot box truck orders do end up at a post office. There's another 5-stop tour, 26-foot truck, $271 a mile, $316 total payout. It's 26-foot box truck, 1 pick, 1 stop, ending up in Palm Desert, but now you're in Palm Desert. When we get to 26, I'll see if there's any backhauls out of Palm Desert. I'll remember to do that. Here's one ending up in Tecate, down by the border, 413. Let's see where the stops are at. So 5 of them, starting down in Otay, going to National City, going back to San Diego, going out to Jamul, so that's on the way to Tecate. That's good news. Sorry for all the construction behind me. I picked a poor day to do this. And then ending up in Tecate, guaranteed there's no backhauls from Tecate. 26-foot truck and recommended, starting in San Diego, ending in San Diego. Let's see here. Escondido, San Diego, San Diego, San Diego. So it looks like you're staying in San Diego most of the time, going up to Escondido. Let's get specific and start looking at these, the load boards I like. My local one I consider Otay to Vista. It keeps me, it's basically starting in Otay, going no further than 106 miles, keeps me in town. And there are no matches. Not surprising. Let's for a Thursday, not surprising at all. Let's expand that out to starting in Otay, going no further than 250 miles, and no matches. Yeah, today's probably a bad day. And then, you know, let's say if I was determined to make money right now, you know, what would I do with this? If I had to work today, I'd expand this radius out to, like, let's say 150 miles. And now there's all these results, but look, they're all up in Moreno Valley, Redlands, East Vale, Chino. Let's just see what top money is and when it starts. Let's sort this by price per distance highest. For 53-foot equipment, top money is $16.50 a mile, but keep in mind that is not starting until Tuesday, October 24th at 11:34, and that is trailer required. Second one is trailer required. The first trailer provided load is on Wednesday, October 25th for $10.64 a mile, 3 stops. Let's just see, I bet you that middle stop is probably gonna be a third-party site. Yeah, 35,000 pounds. And the fact that they are saying that's just Riverside and not giving a specific address, I'll bet you that's a third-party site. So as far as 53-foot equipment today, not looking great. Let's just see what 26-foot equipment looks like. 26-foot box trucks. I have a load board for that. SD box truck, here it is. So right now, not until, God, that's like 15 hours from now. San 5 to Hemet, $241 a mile, $262 out to Calipatria. I'm probably saying that wrong. A city in around here I don't know about. Here's that Palm Desert one. One pick, one stop. San Diego to Idlewild on Friday. So these are all like a couple days out. Let's just blow through a couple more of these. San Diego, ending in Rancho Mirage. 3 stops. Yeah, ending in Rancho Mirage. Oh, and stopping in Coachella on the way. Gotta turn that auto refresh off. I always forget that. San Diego to Descanso, $1.87 a mile. That's up by Alpine. That's going to be, let's see, starting in Otay, going to Calexico, and then ending in Descanso. I mean, that at least gets you on the way back, but still $1.87 a mile is not great. Let's look at that Palm Desert. Let's just see if you took that one that was a one pick, one stop and ended up in Palm Desert. Let's just see what backhauls are looking like. Palm Desert, California. They're saying San Bernardino. Let's just sort that by deadhead shortest. And yeah, Beaumont. It seems to be like those desert communities, Palm Springs, Coachella, Palm Desert, all those things out there. It seems like the closest facility to those is Beaumont. So just know that if you're heading out there, you're probably going to be heading to Beaumont in order to get that connecting load. And I mean, this one's not bad. I mean, this one picks up in Beaumont and comes back to San Diego. So if you were from here, I mean, this is kind of the setup that I would look for. Rather than going from, I've typically seen Beaumont going to Vegas. Rather than going to Vegas, if I wanted to come back home, I might see how often they send this Beaumont to San Diego. That'd be a good back haul and a good way to get me back home. A lot of stuff out of Beaumont there, San Bernardino. But I mean, all these rates are, you know, $1.88, $1.70, $1.85 to Vegas. Yeah, I mean, just not a great time right now for 53-foot equipment in 26, but I mean, that can change. Sometimes I see that change, you know, 2-3 times in a day. I'll look at this thing in the morning and by afternoon it's good, evening it's bad, nighttime it's great again. So just keep in mind this thing's always changing. Let's take a look at that spot capacity. There was 2 loads I kind of set aside that I wanted to show you. Let's see here, a recent spot. This one kind of blew my mind. There's both of these. I got this the other night. I don't know if they left the date on there, but they had a trailer. I know it says preloaded drop. I actually emailed back on this. This was actually an empty trailer going from San 5 up to a offsite facility up in Ontario, 124 miles. They were offering $1,100. And keep in mind, this rate's negotiable. The thing I found out about this was, I found out 2 things on the email. One, it was an empty trailer. The other is they had multiple moves. So you start thinking of, like, you know, you run that California short haul exemption, 16-hour clock, 12 hours of driving. How many of these could you get done in 12 hours? I mean, you could for sure do 2. You could probably get there on the 3rd one. Depending on how creative you were getting with like the personal conveyance, maybe you could come home. If you wanted to do it by the book, you'd probably have to spend 10 hours as a reset up there in Ontario. But I mean, you figure if you could do 3 of these and didn't ask for $1 more to go to Ontario back and forth 3 times for $3,400, that'd be a good use of my day. And then, you know, for sure could get 2 of them done. And then the other spot capacity was, I typically get these for San Diego, but this was one going out of Visalia to Bakersfield. On this one, they actually said empty moves. They had multiples of these. So, you know, how many times would you be willing to drive 76 miles for $600? And keep in mind that that $600 is not asking for anything more. Would they accept 700? Would they accept 750, 800? Who knows? You'd have to check on it to find that out. But these were 2 recent spot capacities that kind of blew my mind, especially that $1,100 up to Ontario. The most I've ever seen them move that lane for is $900. So $1,100 gives me something to shoot for.